Welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now.
That's right, there is no turning back now. And why would you want to? I mean, come on. Welcome, foolish mortals. This is the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I'm your ghost host, Kristen, and you know me. If it's a Disney life, then I'm a happy wife. So if this episode, I should say, sounds a little bit different, it's because I'm trying something a little bit new. I have my AirPods in, and I'm currently sitting in line at my daughter's school waiting for her to get out, and I'm trying to record on my laptop and see if this is a good way to do mobile episodes, being able to do them while I'm in Disney, without having to lug around any kind of, equipment would be great. So I'm trying to see how this works and see if it's working well for us. So I guess we'll see how that goes. So like I said, this is the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I'm Kristen. I hope you all are having a fantastic week so far. If not, well, then I hope this podcast brings you a little bit of joy and a little bit of a smile to your week, and hopefully, your week turns around. I don't want to hear about anybody having a bad week, so let's turn that week around. So in this episode today, I am going to be talking about some tips for going to Walt Disney World in the summer, things that I buy before we go, and things that I highly recommend, plus tips once you're in the park. So I am going to start this episode off, and I think I may start doing that with future episodes. I'm going to start off by talking about some Disney news, just a quick little blurb, because there's so much going on in Disney right now that it's impossible to not, talk about it and talk about what's going on. So I'm going to start off today's episode by talking about one of the biggest pieces of news to hit the Disney universe right now is that Josh D'Amaro, and I'm hoping I pronounced his last name correctly, was named the new CEO. He's succeeding Bob Iger, and Dana Walden is going to take over as the president and the CCO. And I think that that's great news. I've only heard wonderful things about Mr. D'Amaro, and I've heard that he's been very vocal about experiences in the parks in the past, and you can see him actually sporadically in the parks, which I think is great. Make yourself seen, make yourself known to the people who are enjoying what you're doing. I think that that's wonderful. And he's definitely a parks fan favorite. So a lot of people are really happy about this decision. He's forward-thinking, and he's beloved by cast members and employees of Walt Disney World. Well, not just Walt Disney World, but by Disney in general. So it sounds to me like they made a great decision naming him the new CEO. So congratulations to him. I hope everything goes well. As a lifelong Disney fan, I can only hope that he's going to make things better in the parks, better for Disney. I hope that he does bring some things back that, I loved so much about Disney, like the Magical Express and free fast passes. I highly doubt that it's going to happen, but, I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I know one of the things that my husband loved so much about our trips to Disney was that it felt so inclusive, and there were so much like the Magical Express and the free fast passes. And now to him, it just seems like Disney is nickeling and diming, people left and right, which, it kind of stinks. I do like that they are bringing back fast passes in a way that you can book out ahead of time with the multi-pass lightning lane. I do like that, but I wish they would bring back fast passes. So we'll see what Josh D'Amaro is going to be doing in the future with Disney. So congratulations to him on the new position, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for only good things in the future. So with that said, on to the episode. With the upcoming trip that Em and I have coming up in 84 days. Crazy. We're in double digits. I'm so excited. 84 days until we're back in Walt Disney World. And we are taking this trip in the summer. Going in the summer, not only is it busy because kids are on vacations and stuff like that, it's also the hottest time to be going to Walt Disney World. I mean, this is Florida, people. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you about what I buy before the trip. Certain things that I buy and bring down with us that I feel are essential to doing summertime in Florida, in Walt Disney World. And I'm going to tell you about the things that I bring, why I bring them, what I like about it, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to go over some tips that I have for what to do when you're in the parks, what to do when you're down in Walt Disney World during this crazy, crazy, crazy time. So, and I say that it's crazy because, yes, it's very busy, but it's also really hot. So you have to be really, really careful. So, before we come down to Disney for a summer Disney trip, there are some essentials that I always buy and bring with us. Now, if we have some from a previous trip, yes, I will use that. I'm not always buying brand new stuff every time. You know, if we've got water bottles that we really liked, yeah, I'll use those again. Sometimes it's fun to buy brand new ones and decorate them so we can say, hey, this is from this trip, and hey, this is from this trip. But yeah, so if I have them, then I will, I'll just use them again. If I don't, then I'll buy brand new. And so what I'm going to do, which I have actually never done, I'm going to go on Amazon, which is the place that I usually buy all of this stuff. I'm going to go on Amazon and I'm going to create a storefront. Through my Amazon storefront, I'm going to create a new list, and it's going to have all of the things that I'm talking about on that list. So when this podcast episode comes out, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but I am also going to put it in my bio on Instagram and Facebook. So you can go there and you can check out the link and you can see what it is that I'm buying and what I recommend to you guys to buy. Okay. So you can look at that there. Like I said, the link will be in the show notes. And it'll also be in my bio on Instagram and Facebook so you can see what I'm recommending, okay? Now, some of these items I buy for every Disney trip that we have. It's not just a summertime thing, it's an every time thing. But they're essential to our Disney trips. That's what I believe. You may not agree, but it's something that I think is essential for, a Disney trip for me and Emily. So, here we go. Without further ado, here's the list. Okay, so number 1 on the list has to be water bottles. Now, in the past, we've used Yeti water bottles. We usually get them and we'll get stickers or decals or something and we'll decorate our water bottles. And that actually makes me think. So I'll do a post probably sometime next week with a picture of previous water bottles that Em and I have had, which I think we do a really cute job. We usually get, past couple of times, we've gotten stickers from a Disney company. They make Disney themed stickers, called Wish Upon Magic. If you've never heard of them, check them out on Instagram. I think you can check them out on Facebook. They have a website. They're on Etsy. I usually order through Etsy. So I think we may get more this time. I know I've definitely been looking at their tethers for phones, which is a whole different story. Back to water bottles. So we usually get Yeti water bottles and we've always loved them. But I think this year we're going to try a different water bottle. We're going to try Awala bottles. That's a tongue twister. We're going to try Awala bottles because Emily started getting them. I want to say it was last year she got her first Awala and she absolutely loves them. So I think we'll get those. We'll get some stickers to decorate. We'll do something to decorate. It'll be fun. And we'll go from there. We'll test them out. So I'll have to let you guys know after the podcast, or after the podcast, after the trip, excuse me, which ones I like better. We'll see which ones Em like better too, but I'm guessing she's going to go with the Wallace since she's such a fan right now. But I'll have to let you guys know which one I liked. So number 2 on the list is rechargeable fans. So for the last time we went, we bought these super cute little fans that I got off of Amazon, and they were so cute. When you fold them up when you're not using them, they actually look like little bears, and they've got like a little face. It is absolutely adorable. Not only are they fans, but they're also flashlights, which are great, and they're rechargeable. They worked so well. Em and I, they really helped to keep us cool, and we were able to use, them for a single charge throughout the whole day. I think we still actually have those fans, so we'll probably bring those. We may get like one new one just in case, something malfunctions with the ones that we have. So definitely get a rechargeable fan. Walking through the parks, you want to make sure that you're staying as cool as possible. So fans are a big way to stay cool. Number 3 on the list is another thing to keep cool, cooling towels. Now, I know that Disney sells cooling towels in the parks, but I do know that they are kind of expensive. For what they are, they're kind of expensive. We've gotten them in the past. I want to say this was way back when Em was a toddler. But this past time, we ordered them off Amazon. They were super reasonable. I think we got like 4 of them in a pack for like $20. Super reasonable. It could have been cheaper than that, but super, super reasonable. And they worked really great. So I think this time I looked and we got we're going to get a pack of 6, and we'll use one throughout the day. So for those who don't know what a cooling towel is, it's a towel that when you wet it, it turns cold. So you can wrap it around your neck, not too tight. You could wrap it around your head. You could just use it to wipe your face, any way to keep yourself cool. And they work really well. And anytime you need to activate the coolness, all you have to do is just wet them. And they work great. I highly recommend them, especially if you're going, to Disney during the summer. So definitely check them out. They will be in my Amazon storefront. And we buy a pack of so many. I know you could be thinking, well, why do you need so many? We buy them for so many. So when we get back to the resort at the end of the day, I'll rinse them out and then I'll hang them dry. And then we'll use a fresh one for the next day. So we'll just kind of keep, letting them dry and using a new one and keep doing stuff like that. So I think it's a great deal the way that it is. So definitely check them out. You're going during the summer. They're a must-have. Number 4 on the list is sunglasses. Now, Emily and I have great sunglasses at home, but they're ones that I wouldn't want anything to happen to, ones that would be more on the expensive side to replace. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want them to break when they're in Disney. I don't want anything to happen to them. So this time we're going to get some cheap replacements from Amazon. And once we get home, they'll go into my quote unquote Disney trip bag and we'll be able to use them for further Disney trips. But with the sun, you want to make sure that you're protecting your eyes as well, not just staying cool. Protect your eyes from the sun. Sunglasses work great. So I know last time, I don't think we had sunglasses for Em. I don't think we remembered them. So it's definitely something that we're going to do this time. And we'll get some on Amazon, probably 3 packs or whatever like that, something like that. So definitely protect those eyes and get some sunglasses. Speaking of protecting, number 5 is, of course, sunscreen. Now this one's a no-brainer. The Florida sun is absolutely no joke. So you definitely need sunscreen. We get whatever sunscreen both Em and I like. She's 11, so it's been trickier in the past to get her to agree to sunscreen. But I think she's a little bit better, that now that she's 11 and a bit older. So we make sure to get one that we both like. And for us, the aerosol can ones are usually easier. So we'll get those. I think we've gotten Neutrogena in the past. We'll probably get those. I know that the one that's going to be in my Amazon storefront is one that we've gotten in the past that we both really liked. So I will probably end up getting that one again. So, and for kids that are a little bit more independent, having something like that, that it's a spray that they can apply themselves, they're more independent with it. You don't feel like you have to tie them down to be able to get that done. So yeah, definitely, number 5, definitely remember to pack some sunscreen. Number 6, lip balm. Now, sunscreen isn't necessarily good for your lips. So you want to make sure that you invest in a lip balm that has sunscreen in it. Now, I know that Aquaphor makes one that has a protectant in it. They also make one that has a lip repair. So if your lips are already burned, then you can apply that and it helps. So I definitely think we're going to get both for this time. I know Em probably has, she's the girl with a million lip balms or lip glosses or lip stuff. So she's probably got one that she already likes, but I'm definitely going to grab both just in case, because it's better to be safe than sorry, better to protect yourself and have stuff just in case. So definitely check those out on my Amazon storefront, because like I said, sunscreen, Florida sun is no joke. So definitely get a lip balm with a sunscreen in it. Okay. So number 7, now in case you do get sunburned, number 7 is aloe. So aloe vera gel, you want to make sure that you bring some with you. I'm sure they sell it in the stores at Disney, but it's probably expensive. So definitely grab some before you go, bring it with you. You don't have to grab a huge bottle, but make sure you have something so that way, if you do get sunburned, you can ease it as fast as possible. Because it's no fun walking through the Disney parks literally with a sunburn. That's not fun. So make sure you have that to, help with any sunburns. It's essential, okay? It's definitely an essential thing. And like I said, the Florida sun is absolutely no joke. Next on the list, number 8 is, I'm not going to say this right. I'm not going to say the words right, I don't think. So electrolyte powder packs for water. So you got a bottle of water. Especially if you're a kid, you don't necessarily like the flavor of water. And you're thinking, gosh, I don't want this. What is happening? And so what we do is we get electrolyte packs. Now, we just found ones that Emily really likes, and those are the Gatorade ones. So they're Gatorade Zero, and her favorite flavor is the Glacier Freeze. It's the light blue one, for those who know. She absolutely loves them. We've started using them in her water, actually, for school, especially when it's a gym day. And, anything you can do to help get those electrolytes back, because you're sweating a lot when you're in Disney. So you want to make sure that you have something. If you're not drinking a ton of water, where I'm a big water drinker, so I don't necessarily worry about myself. I am going to look into getting one. I'm a cherry limeade fan. So I heard Ghost makes a good one that kind of resembles like the Sonic cherry limeade, which would be great because I love that. But I'm a big water drinker. So Emily's not. So doing anything we can to replenish is absolutely key. So definitely check those out. There are tons of different brands. There's tons of different things that you could get to, add electrolytes to your water. So check those out. Number 9 on the list, speaking of water, but this isn't that kind of water. This is the water that comes from the sky. Ponchos. Now, besides the heat, if there is one thing to know about summertime in Florida, it's that it rains in the blink of an eye. 1 second it's sunny, the next it's raining. Sometimes it's just a quick downpour, a quick little spurt of rain. But then another time, it's literally raining for hours. So you want to make sure that you're always prepared for something like that. It's definitely, a big deal. So make sure you have ponchos. We always bring them. I always have a poncho for me and a poncho for Emily in our backpack, in my backpack, I should say. I always have it ready. We don't always need them, but it's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to be caught out when it's raining and not have something to protect yourself from getting soaked. So disposable ponchos, they have them on Amazon. I'm going to be getting some cute ones this time. I think, I'm going to get pink ones for Emily and then purple and blue ones for me. So definitely check them out. They have great ponchos for I guess we'll say a discount. It's not really a discount because the ones in Disney are so expensive. So definitely check them out. I'll have some on my Amazon storefront. Number 10, hair elastics. Seems like a no-brainer, right? But you always want to make sure that you have those with you in the park. You know, you're going on a ride, you're going in, what if you're at the pool, going in the water? You want to make sure you can pull your hair back. Hair elastics are key. I always make sure to throw a couple into our bag so we have it with us. So, seems like a no-brainer, but I gotta say it anyway. And another hair thing, number 11, are hair clips. So Emily has gotten into a phase where she really likes putting her hair up with a hair clip, a claw clip. And I saw these great ones on Amazon that are Mickey Mouse shaped. How cute is that? So, you know, it's not something that's been, you know, a must have before. This is something that we're going to do this time. So we'll see how it goes because that's, you know, Em loves using a claw clip. So we'll see how that goes. Number 12 is a wireless battery pack. Now, in the time of technology, you need to make sure that you have your phone or watch or iPad charged at all times. I recommend getting a wireless battery pack, especially if you have MagSafe cases and that kind of stuff on your technology. Something that'll just kind of stick to it so that way you don't have to bring charging cords or anything like that. Emily and I both have cases that are MagSafe. So the battery pack can just stick to the back of the phone. There's no cords needed. I highly recommend it. If you don't have anything like that, you can get them that will plug in. They won't stick to it, so you're kind of carrying both. But I highly recommend doing a MagSafe and doing one that will just attach to the back of your phone. We had one the last time that we went. We just had one of them, and it worked great. Worked really well for me and Em. But we were constantly kind of going back and forth with it. So this time I'm going to get 2, and I do have to buy 2 of them because the one that we had last time has died since then. So rest in peace to that. But I am going to get 2 so that way I have one and Emily has one. We'll charge them overnight. That way we have them all day. It'll be great. So I highly, highly recommend it. I need to be able to get a hold of Emily at all times when she's not with me, especially at dance events. So she needs to have a charged phone at all times. So battery packs are a must. Number 13, cup lids. Now, this is something that I actually just found out about looking at somebody else's list of stuff that they bring to Disney. We've never actually used them before, but it kind of seems like a no-brainer. Now, in Disney parks, they don't supply lids for some of their cups. So these disposable lids fit on the cup. You know, it has an area for straws. So you don't have to worry about your kids spilling their drinks. So like I said, it's an absolute no-brainer. Definitely sounds like a cool idea. I'm going to have to check it out and let you guys know what I think and how it goes. So we'll see. Emily may not want it, but we'll just check it out. So cup lids, they are going to be in my Amazon storefront, so check those out. Number 14. Another one that I'm going to say is a no-brainer is a first aid kit. Now, you never know what could happen in the parks. While you should always be aware of where the infirmaries are in the parks, having a first aid kit for minor cuts and scrapes is always a good idea. If I were to get a little cut or something, I would have what I need. If Emily were to trip and fall and scrape her knee, we would have something that we could clean it, some Neosporin and stuff like that. So making sure that you have a first aid kit just seems like a no-brainer to me. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. It can be something that attaches to the outside of your bag. So something like that is always a good idea. And the last item on the list, because I realize that this is getting to be quite the long list, number 15 is a wet dry bag when you're going to the water parks. Now, I recently saw these and thought, that is such a smart idea. I have to get that. Recently, Walt Disney World has implemented a free pass to their water parks on the day that you check in at your Walt Disney World resort. Huge perk. Going to the water parks isn't a cheap thing, so it's a huge perk for staying at a Walt Disney World resort. I know that Emily and I are going to do it on our first day. We went to Typhoon Lagoon last time we were there, and I wish we had something like this, that we could put our bathing suits and our anything else that we had that was wet. I don't think we had towels because towels were there. But our bathing suits, having something like that, so I'm not worried about everything in my backpack getting wet. So highly recommend something like this. I've never actually used one, so I'm so glad that I found this, so that way we can use it in our next trip. So, okay. So like I said, it was a long list. That's 15 items. And some of them aren't ones that we've used in the past, but those things are items I'm like, this is kind of a no-brainer. I should have done this before. So these are definitely all essential items that you should have when you're going to Walt Disney World in the summertime. It's always better to be prepared. Last time when we went, it was definitely a learning experience. Em almost got heat exhaustion one day. It was scary when she turned to look at me and said, "Hey, Mom, what does it feel like when you're about to pass out?" And I was like, oh boy, it feels like you need to sit down and we need to get you something cool immediately. So making sure we're prepared is definitely a big thing for this trip. And that was a learning experience. So having a long list of items that, you need for stuff like that is, it may seem long, but it's definitely worth it. So now on to the second part of this episode, my tips for surviving the summer in Walt Disney World. So tip number 1, make sure you have everything you could need in a backpack while you're walking around the parks. Have your ponchos, your fans, your sunscreen, your water bottles, electrolyte packs, and more packed in your bag. Being prepared is key. Okay? Make sure you have everything with you, because once you're in the parks, turning around to go back to your resort is not necessarily an easy thing, unless you're in Magic Kingdom and you can just take the monorail back to, the Poly or Contemporary or Grand Floridian. Anything else is kind of, not as easy. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure you have everything in your backpack when you're heading to the parks. Tip number 2. Before you go to the parks, make sure you know where the infirmaries are. If something were to happen in the parks, whether it's heat-related or injury-related, knowing where the infirmaries are is a good idea. That way you know where to go if you need help. Okay? So definitely check that kind of stuff out before you go down. Keep that in mind. Where things are in the parks. You could be thinking of bathrooms. You could be thinking of infirmaries. If you have little kids, they have baby centers. Make sure you know where that stuff is before you go. Tip number 3. Now, this one is one that I do. Not everyone will do this, but it's something that I do. I book one table service dining meal every single day. I do this for dinner and on the early side, somewhere like 4 to 5, which sounds early, but it's also a point where it's pretty hot, during the day. Or I'll do like a late lunch reservation, like a 2 to 3, because those are the hottest points of the day. So you want to make sure that you're doing something that will, keep you guys cool. You can get out of the heat and get to, some air conditioning and get a good meal while you're at it. So book a table service reservation. You will not forget it. You will not regret it. So like I said, not everybody will do something like that. I do it and I have never regretted it. So tip number 4, utilize the tools you are bringing. Now, I said before, make sure you bring the tools. Now make sure you're actually using them. Make sure that you have your water bottle filled at all times. Apply sunscreen liberally. It's not enough to bring them with you. You have to make sure to actually use them. There were times where we brought stuff with us and we didn't use it, and that was dumb on our part. So definitely make sure you're using the tools that you have for a hot, hot day down in Florida. Tip number 5, pace yourself. I know that most people will go to Walt Disney World and try to get in as much as possible. And while that's great, in the summer, you want to make sure you're pacing yourself. Give yourself extra time to walk and not run. Make sure you can sit and have a snack or an ice cream or a cold drink. You're on vacation. have a good time. Just relax. And I know some people are like, well, I got to get in so much during the day. That's fine. But make sure you're pacing yourself, because the faster you're going, the more energy you're exuding, the more you're sweating, the heat will affect you. So pace yourself. Tip number 6. Now, this is a tip for those who want to take a midday break. Rope drop in the morning and take a midday break. Go back to your resort, swim for a couple of hours, and then head back to the parks later in the day. Emily and I did this once, or we tried to, and it wasn't really for Em. She actually wanted to stay at the resort, so we didn't end up going back. So maybe we'll try it this summer and see how it goes. But the last time we tried it wasn't for us. I know a lot of people love doing that, especially with little kids. So check that out. Emily and I also aren't rope drop people, so that could be another reason. And number 7, which is our last tip, maximize the indoor attractions and rides as much as you can. During the hottest times of the day, do a few indoor rides or indoor attractions. If you're in Magic Kingdom, I highly recommend the Carousel of Progress. It's a 20-minute show in a cool, air-conditioned room. It's like heaven. A friend of ours also recommends the Hall of Presidents, which is another thing, just like the Carousel of Progress. 20-minute show in air conditioning. It's great. So make sure that you're checking that kind of stuff out too. So even if you're, being casual about your trip, see where certain attractions are that are inside and use those during the hottest time of the day. So there we have it. So these are all of the things that I can think of right now, the items that I would bring, the tips that I would give you. But if I have anything else, I'll definitely post it on Instagram or Facebook and keep you guys updated on that. If you have anything that you'd like to share that I forgot, feel free to send me a DM, a message, or an email and let me know what you think. Okay? And I'll be happy to share those ideas on a next episode. So I guess this brings us to the end of the episode, guys. Wow. That's so much in, just a little over half an hour. So, yeah. These are all the things that I recommend, traveling in the summertime in Disney. It's a big deal. So be prepared, everybody. So I can't wait for our trip. 84 days. I absolutely cannot wait. I am so excited to get back to Walt Disney World, even if it is summertime. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my podcast. I love bringing my love of Disney to all of you. So it means so much that you're out there listening. Thank you again. I cannot say it enough. It means the absolute world to me. So don't forget to follow along and subscribe wherever you can listen to podcasts. Rate my podcast and rate the episodes. Hey, write a review. I love reading reviews on episodes, so definitely go out there and do that. I also have a YouTube channel. Right now it's just audio. You can't see my face, but hopefully soon that'll change. I know we're going to be taking videos and I'll be posting reels and shorts and stuff like that, so I'll do that on the YouTube channel as well. And you guys will be able to see me and Em when we go this summer. So there you go. So follow along for all the fun stuff that's going to be coming this summer. Again, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope all of you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you real soon.
Now I and a ghost will follow you home.
Hurry back. Hurry back.